criminals are getting away with their crimes. Only 1 in 20 offenders now get charged.
How can the police do this? How can they fail so badly in this?
So is the system failing the public?
I have panic attacks, I get all scared, shaking, I start crying for no reason.
We meet the victims forced to turn detective.
I wanted my things back, and I actually wanted the police to do something about it, and they did nothing.
No.
Doors open, out.
And track down the criminals ruining lives.
Brona Monroe from the BBC. You stole this vehicle, sir.
It's the crime people are most worried about. A burglar breaking into your home. Sharon has been burgled 3 times in the past decade. None of the culprits have been caught.
Hello, please coming in. Thank you. You're welcome.
The last break-in was at her home in Doncaster 3 years ago. She now has CCTV, but the retired nurse is still living in fear.
Is this the door they came through that night?
The back door.
What happened?
They came through my back garden, smashed all the glass. I've just seen his hand coming through here like this, and he was turning the key. He didn't have no gloves on, and now I think I should have pushed his hand away. I should have done something, but I'm terrified. And it literally took seconds, and then all of a sudden turned key, and that were it, he were in.
2 men in balaclavas broke into Sharon's home.
So I came into the bedroom because I was terrified. I got into bed, I got my phone, I rang police, and I didn't want to see the faces, so I just got into bed quick, and they were like this on the phone, 999 to police. Come quick, there's some burglars in my home, please hurry up. And then I'm saying to burglars, please don't hurt me, I'm scared, I don't want you to hurt me. And I was like this for 45 minutes until they came.
Come on out of there now. Come on.
Come back.
You alright?
Come on, are you coming in here? You coming in here?
Do you want to sit up, Sharon? That's a woman. So you just...
The bag were down there at the time.
Right.
I said, you're not taking my handbag. And I'm wrestling him like this under covers, trying not to take my handbag. But in the end, I was wrestling that much. He got the baseball bat and hit me on the head. And that's the last thing I can remember.
This is the first time you've been able to talk anybody through this, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Why did you want to do that with me?
I want people to see just how traumatised I am and just what they've done to me. And 2 years down the line, I'm still no better off. I'm terrified. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. You've nothing to be sorry for, huh? You alright?
It's just never going to go away, is it?
You're winning. You're winning because you're staying in your house.
I'm still scared. I shouldn't be scared in daytime, should I?
You shouldn't be scared ever.
No, I shouldn't be really. But that's how I am, and that's what these scumbags have done to me.
The number of burglaries is declining, but police are struggling to catch the culprits. Now, just 4% of home burglars are charged. The police watchdog says officers have been failing to get the basics right.
What we can't forget is that for each of these offences these officers are dealing with, there's a victim. If policing isn't getting these crimes right, confidence and trust diminishes. That now is the lowest level of confidence and trust in policing that I can remember, and that's quite a statement for me to make.
The number of crimes recorded by police forces in England and Wales has risen by 65% in the past decade. Some of that increase is down to improvements in the way police identify and record offences, but not all of it. Recorded car thefts have almost doubled, and violent crime has trebled.
The figures submitted by each police force show that recorded crimes are at record levels, but the government keeps saying that crime is falling. So what's going on with the statistics?
To make that claim, the government relies on the National Crime Survey for England and Wales. It's considered the best indication of long-term trends. The survey shows crime falling significantly since the 90s.
I think we can be confident that there is less overall crime in our country than there was 30 years ago, and of course that's common across the Western world. That's not just a UK phenomenon.
But there are weaknesses with the survey. Common crimes like shoplifting, drug possession, stalking and harassment aren't included. Neither are any crimes against businesses or children under 16.
So should the public be comforted or concerned about where we are right now with crime and policing?
Concerned. Definitely concerned. The level of crime, the nature of crime, the severity of crime have all shifted dramatically over the last decade. We have a police service that is overwhelmed by the level of demand that it's facing.
In 39% of crimes, police fail to identify a suspect. Some victims won't accept that failure. They're fighting back.
I moved in on the 4th of December 4 years ago. Yeah.
Sarah Good's home in Blackburn was burgled 3 months ago while she was sleeping.
I went to bed at 11 o'clock on Friday night, and when I got up at 7 o'clock in the morning, the TV was off the wall on the floor, the drawers in my living room were open, and there were footprints through the kitchen.
The burglar took Sarah's house keys, her laptop, car keys, and £380 she'd saved for Christmas.
I don't want to live here anymore.
What has changed, Sarah?
Oh, I can't do this, I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's okay.
I actually don't even want to be in this house.
Why?
It's just, I feel completely violated.
It's
Yeah.
okay, Sarah. It's okay.
Feeling a little bit emotional, I'm sorry.
You alright?
Yeah.
It's okay.
I feel like this all the time now when I'm here.
Do you?
Yeah.
Have you stayed here much since this happened?
No.
You're not coping with it,
No,
are you?
not at all. Not at all. And no, I'm not.
Come on, let's make tea.
Yeah.
The police have promised to attend all home burglaries and pursue all reasonable lines of inquiry, like collecting CCTV. But they only spoke to Sarah for 20 minutes. And they didn't collect CCTV from all her neighbours. So Sarah got some of the footage herself. It shows a man using a key fob to try to find a car outside her house. Sarah recognised him. He used to be a friend. Sarah told the police his name, Lewis Lunt. But they still didn't question him or come back for the rest of the CCTV.
I
How did it leave you feeling?
Angry. Furious. I was absolutely furious. Someone had come into my home, I'd found out who it was, I'd informed the police who it was, and they were not prepared to do anything about it. And so it made me react in a way that I wouldn't normally react.
Sarah stopped talking to the police and she sent angry messages to Lewis Lunt. His replies confirmed her suspicions.
Get my stuff back tonight. He says, right.
Yeah. So if you carry on, if you...
So then he says, in your backyard, you got them.
Yeah.
Soon after receiving that message, Sarah found her car keys in the backyard, but nothing else has been returned.
I wanted my things back. And I actually wanted the police to do something about it. And they did nothing. It's not okay. It's not okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I feel like totally powerless. Like nothing. You've got no power to do anything.
Criminals are now less likely to be caught. Charging rates in England and Wales have more than halved in the past decade. Only 1 in 20 crimes now results in a suspect being charged. For crimes like thefts against the person, it's less than 1 in 100.
The message going out at the moment, you would say, if you look at the statistics on their own, would be that it's a good time to be a criminal because the charge rate has fallen so low. So if they're not arresting people, they're not charging them, then they're not convicting them, there is a sense that there's no deterrence and criminals are able to be emboldened and commit crime without consequence.
Do you think police officers out on the ground are hearing that victims are dissatisfied with the service they're getting?
I think they are, but they feel under increasing pressure to have to respond to the outstanding call list. They've got a backlog of case files they have to deal with, and it's a case, sadly, of probably compassion fatigue, where they've forgotten what they're there for at times. And again, it's a minority of cases where police officers do an amazing job day in, day out, but sadly, there will be victims that feel very let down.
The problems only seem to be affecting England and Wales. Clear up and charging rates in Scotland and Northern Ireland have stayed broadly the same, and so have the number of recorded crimes.
Have you got any weapon on your car?
The Home Office declined to be interviewed. It told us police officers do an incredible job every day, but that it's clear that there is more to do. It welcomes the police's commitment to pursue all reasonable lines of inquiry. The National Police Chiefs Council told us confidence levels in local policing remain strong, and recent changes were leading to an increase in arrests and charges. But it says the police have a staffing and funding shortfall and need a robust long-term funding plan.
It's actually a lovely little park.
There's no doubt the police have an incredibly challenging job, but their mistakes can prove costly. Mohammed Assad used to own a Range Rover until it was stolen last year.
It was my dream car. You know, my whole family used to go out on a weekly basis, and you know, it had real sentimental value to me.
The engine needed reconditioning, and Assad found a garage online that collected the car from his home. He paid them £4,550. But when he went to Leicester to pick the vehicle up, he found the garage didn't exist.
I've got messages, I've got proof on my phone that the money's been paid. I explained this to the officer, but the officer just, you know, wasn't interested in looking into this.
The thieves falsely claimed Assad owed them money for the repairs. The police decided it was a civil matter and refused to record it as a crime, which means his insurance won't pay out.
So you're not going to get any money back?
No.
How can the police do this? You know, how can they feel so badly in this? Yeah.
These online videos show the pressure the police come under on the streets. After 2010, the number of police officers was reduced by 20,000. The government has recruited 20,000 new officers to replace them, but they don't have the same experience. It's hard for inexperienced officers to deal with situations like this.
Some would say that replacing those 20,000 was just repairing the damage done previously. But obviously, the level of inexperience now is quite significant. By next year, about 30% of officers will have under 5 years service, and most of those will be on the front line.
The workload for those inexperienced officers is also growing. An additional 18,000 officers would be needed in England and Wales just to keep up with population growth since 2010. And that number gets even higher if you factor in the rise of serious crimes like rape, which are harder to solve.
If you were to take the level of demand that faced the police in 2010 and compare it to the level of demand that they face today, you would say that there is a shortfall of over 100,000 officers. Now, it's not necessarily realistic to expect officer numbers to meet the level of demand, but it does demonstrate that the level of police uplift that we've seen is in no way equipping the police to be able to respond to the scale of the problem that they face.
The Home Office says there are now 149,500 police officers in England and Wales, the highest number on record. And the public is already seeing improvements and our communities are safer. It's also launched action plans to tackle antisocial behaviour and retail crime.
Hello, how you doing? Sorry to disturb you on Sunday. My name's Bronwyn Monroe. I work for the BBC. I'm just doing a bit
Back in Blackburn, I'm looking for additional CCTV footage of Sarah's burglary.
The reason I'm knocking the door is because there's a lady on the street who was burgled, and what I was doing was looking to see if anybody had any footage.
The growth of doorbell cameras and home CCTV means there's often good evidence of crimes taking place. But it takes time to collect and log. We found 3 cameras with footage the police failed to collect. The CCTV shows the suspect Sarah identified going round the back of her property at 4 a.m. He comes out her front door 14 minutes later. Sarah hasn't seen this footage before.
So that's about 2 minutes to 4.
Okay.
Roughly, that's him.
He comes out my front door.
He does.
He comes out my front door.
Yeah. All right. So that's him coming out your door. You all right?
Yeah.
Do you want to know this, Sarah?
Yeah.
So he looks like he goes down the street, right?
Yeah.
But what he actually does is he comes back and he comes back into the house.
Are you joking?
No, I'm not. And then he leaves again very soon after that.
Right.
This time he's carrying a bag, what appears to be a white bag.
Right, okay.
I don't know. And that's him.
Right. You're coming out with my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
The footage shows Lewis Lunt came back to Sarah's house 5 times over the next few days.
What I found really interesting is the number of times that we found him coming back and trying the door or looking in the window.
It's terrible. Why would someone do that? Something needs doing about this. It's shocking. I'm so angry.
Lewis Lunt says he didn't burgle Sarah, and Lancashire Police told us burglary is a priority. It says its investigation included sending crime scene investigators, completion of house-to-house inquiries and obtaining CCTV footage before Sarah's case was closed. Some victims of crime have even resorted to paying to catch criminals. When the police didn't act, Assad hired private investigators to find his Range Rover.
The thing that's most important is getting my car, but then the other thing is, actually stopping these people, so they can't do it to other people. And it's, it's about keeping the public safe.
So you get many cases like Assad's?
The private investigator has asked us to keep his identity hidden because of the nature of his work. He started by following the money.
Assad had paid numerous amounts into separate bank accounts.
So when you got the names of those accounts, what did you do?
We were able to run address traces based on those names. Initially it was over 20 addresses. We got lucky on the last address. The vehicle was there on the driveway.
Assad's car was now in Walsall, and the private investigators tried to recover it using the spare key.
The spare keys didn't work, so the guys had obviously rekeyed the vehicle.
Why would somebody who is supposedly reconditioning the engine of a car rekey that car?
To steal it.
Your guys were on the ground. Who did they talk to?
They spoke to this gentleman here who came to the door. He advised they were two brothers.
They told your guys that?
Yeah, they were two brothers.
The brothers called the police and showed them false ownership documents.
You spoke to the police officer?
I did.
Did he recognise that somebody had stolen a car?
No.
No. What did he say?
He said it was purely a civil matter. Said we couldn't take the vehicle. Said he didn't have time to check the DVLA database or run the address or anything like that, and prevented us from recovering the vehicle to the extent we handed over the spare key.
They took the key
Yeah,
away?
the spare key, everything. Gave it back to these guys, yeah.
It gets worse. Because the police hadn't recorded it as a crime, the thieves were allowed to transfer ownership of the vehicle.
If you had to describe the police's response in this in a few words, what would you say?
Shocking.
The private investigators identified the two brothers. Qasim Rashid is on a police website. He's wanted for fraud. His brother, Kamar Rashid, is a convicted drug dealer. The police were told, but they still didn't do anything. And the brothers quickly sold Assad's car. West Midlands Police told us officers were happy with the documentation which was provided to them on the day. They didn't carry out further checks because it could have been deemed an inappropriate use of the police national computer.
Suspect one, the large male, bearded with eyewear
Stay well back.
in the rear.
We tracked down Kamar Rashid.
He's coming up passenger side.
No?
No, doors open. Out.
I want to confront him with the evidence the police ignored.
Mr. Rashid, Brona Monroe from the BBC. Sir, I would like to talk to you in relation to this vehicle. Have you ever seen this vehicle, sir? This is Assad Mohammed's car, sir. He gave you this car for repairs. He gave you this car to repair. You stole this vehicle, sir.
Listen,
Sir,
my name
this is
Mr.
you.
Rashid.
This is you, sir,
No,
at that
that's wrong.
vehicle.
That's wrong. I'm
Really?
not Mr. Rashid.
Sir, do you deny that you reside at this property? Okay.
100%.
See that car?
Nothing to do with that.
Do you live in this house?
Let's phone the police.
Great,
now.
sir.
No,
Please do. Please do.
All right, I see.
We know that that is one of the individuals involved in the theft of Mr. Assad's car.
No, it's not the individual involved in the theft of that car. This is total.
This
lie.
is the.
No.
This
I
is
don't
your
know
house.
that car.
Is this your
Now
house?
you're gonna try to wind me up. I don't know that car.
Is this your house?
My brother put that car there. That's a person you're after, my brother.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sir,
No,
you
no,
had
no, no,
the
no, no. One
police.
sec.
You had the police in your house, sir, and you convinced them that this was your car and that this man
How
owed
can I
you money.
convince the police in my house?
That's you looking at that car.
Yeah, oh, that's me looking at the car.
It
Look
is,
at the
yeah.
address.
So essentially,
Yeah,
are you denying that
I'm
you
denying everything.
anything to do with that?
101% I'm denying
Okay.
it. I've come out of prison.
Were you actually in prison for convicted of drug running? Is
Yeah.
that right? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I don't really think there's anything else to be achieved. He's confirmed he's the man in the photograph. He's confirmed his brother put the car on the drive. I don't think that we can do any more. It'll be up to the police. Unfortunately, they've decided not to investigate this further.
It's easy to see that victims feel let down quite badly. They deserve better, but sometimes if you know you've got an outstanding list of maybe 10, 15 crimes to deal with, you can't always do the best job that you want to do.
This needs to be turned around in the next 2 to 3 years. It's really in need of an emergency set of measures now to try and restore that public trust.
When criminals go unpunished, it's the victims who suffer. Sarah's moving out. She can't live in the house where she was burgled.
The effect that it's had on my mental health has been horrendous. It took time actually for it to. Initially, I thought, what's going on, you know, and it's like, and I thought I were okay, and then it was like, yeah, and I weren't.
Assad has lost faith in justice.
I've been treated horribly by the police. It was the first ever interaction with the police. You know, I thought I'd get help, but no. Not at all.
And Sharon still feels a prisoner in her home.
I have panic attacks. I get all scared, shaking. I start crying for no reason because I lie awake thinking and waiting for another one to happen again, another bang, and I'll be scared again.
More and more criminals are getting away with their offences. And it's their victims who are paying the price.